Did you know these facts about Haaland? I don't think so, but don't worry, I will tell it to you. Here is 15 facts you probably didn't know about Haaland. Let's get started. Haaland has a very strong family background in the world of sports. His parents were both excellent athletes. Haaland's father, Erling Haaland, was also a professional footballer who played for some renowned English clubs like Leeds United and Manchester City during his career. However, Haaland Sr. became famous for being a subject to one of the most infamous challenges in the history of football when Roy Keane produced a disgusting tackle in a feisty Manchester derby back in 2001. His mother, Marita Braun, meanwhile, is also recognized as a national champion in heptathlon in the 90s, while his grandfather was a well-known long-distance runner in Norway. No wonder the kid's a monster. While Erling followed his father's footsteps and became a footballer, Erling revealed in an interview that he ensured his son would try a whole host of other sports before choosing football. By 14, Erling had already had a taste of handball, athletics and cross-country skiing. A natural athlete, Haaland excelled at a variety of sports growing up. He was an exceptional handball player, and was told by many coaches that he could make a career in that sport. His father later revealed that Norway's handball manager wanted him to play handball. Thus, had things turned out differently for him in his formative days, he could have been a famous international handball player for Norway by now. Are you aware that Erling Haaland set his first world record at the age of 5? Now, we're trying hard not to believe the rumors about him being a Terminator, but these facts doesn't help in any way. At 5, most of us were busy watching cartoons and playing video games. But not Haaland. Despite his tender age, he was already training, taking part in multiple sports, and building himself to be a phenomenal athlete. On the 22nd of January 2006, he produced a standing jump of crazy 1.63 meters. It turned out to be a new world record, and 17 years later, that record still stands tall. A world record-breaking jumper. At least, this explains some of the insane towering headers and freakish side volleys we've come to see from him time and again. Needless to say, Haaland is the future of Norwegian football. He has scored 21 times in just 23 games for the Drillos, and is the face of a young and competitive Norwegian side that narrowly missed out on qualification to the recent Qatar World Cup. However, Haaland was born in Leeds and so could have been eligible to play for England. However, he emulated his father at both club and country levels by picking City in Norway, since he spent most of his youth in the Scandinavian country. If the stars had aligned differently, Haaland and Kane would have lined up as a strike pairing up front, potentially firing Gareth Southgate's team to the elusive World Cup triumph. Defenders' legs would be shaking at that sight, wouldn't they? Haaland has named various footballers as his idol, including the likes of Cristiano Ronaldo and Lionel Messi, among others. However, the name which appears most of the time is that of Zlatan Ibrahimovic. His incredible karate kick winner against former club Dortmund back in September 2022 shows that he has certainly learnt a thing or two from Zlatan's playbook. Not to mention, he has similar appetite for scoring goals. The Swede has enjoyed an illustrious career and, at the age of 40, is still troubling defenses over in Italy, when fit. With the sort of performances he's putting up, it won't be long until Haaland wins the Ballon d'Or, something Zlatan has failed to do in his incredible career. While he may overtake Ibrahimovic in terms of individual achievements, he would still be some way of matching Zlatan in terms of enigmatic character, thug attitude, and outspoken interviews, which are just pure entertainment. Yet to hit his 23rd birthday, Haaland boasts an intimidating physical presence, thanks to his tall, imposing 6 feet 4 frame. However, this growth hasn't happened out of the blue. Such was his massive size and stature that he was nicknamed "Man-Child" by his teammates due to his mammoth frame while playing for Molde's youth team in his native Norway. Haaland has not always been the household name he is today. He has had a strong relationship with football since his childhood, and joined the academy at Bryn, a Norwegian outfit, at the age 5. A decade later, he made his debut for the senior team, aged just 15, playing the full 90 minutes as his team lost to KFUM Kameraden Oslo in front of a lowly crowd of 1,649. The frontman's physical presence as well as his quick thinking when dropping into dangerous areas around the box were apparent, but he was not rewarded with a goal. In fact, he didn't score a goal in his first 16 games for Bryn FK in the second tier, but his impact in games was enough to attract Molde, Norway's biggest club, who signed the promising striker. At that time, Ole Gunnar Solskjær was the manager of Molde. It goes without saying that Haaland is an absolute goal machine. His stats speak for themselves, and he's been banging in goals for fun ever since his RB Salzburg days. What will astonish you is that Haaland once fired home 9 goals in a single game. During a match against Honduras in the U20 World Cup, the youngster found the back of the net 9 times. That's 3 hat tricks in a single outing. Despite being ousted in the group stage, Haaland went on to earn the Golden Boot. It is a dream for every football player to one day feature in the Champions League, but it's more than a competition for Haaland. He lives for the big Champions League nights under the lights, and in preparing for them, his alarm tone is none other than the iconic Champions League anthem. Speaking to TV2 while he was still at Salzburg, he said, "That's my alarm tone. I wake up to it every day. It's the last song I'd get tired of. I wake up to it. So I always get a perfect start to the day." He was also spotted by the cameras singing along to the Champions League anthem ahead of Manchester City vs. Borussia Dortmund at the Etihad back in April 2021. He is desperate to lift the European elite silverware, and that could go some way in helping Manchester City putting an end to their infamous Champions League curse. Most athletes have one thing in common. They consume a lot of nutritious food to maintain their prime physique. Haaland is no exception in this regard. He, too, follows a crazy diet, and instead of wasting time adhering to dietitians' advice, he has gone to considerable lengths to emulate the diet of the GOAT himself, Cristiano Ronaldo. We all know Ronaldo is one of, if not, the most hard-working athletes on the plane, and while many have hung up their boots in early 30s, the Portuguese is still going strong. In 2020, Haaland's dad revealed that his son eats the same food as Ronaldo, including fish, chicken, pasta, and no salt or sauce. At 6'4", Haaland has a lot of bulk to shift, and at first glance, he appears to be a traditional center forward. However, he's deceptively quick, and can be ferocious when using his long strides and afterburners in transitions. He sprinted so rapidly in a game against PSG in 2020 that it would have been fast enough for him to have qualified for the 60 meters at the 2018 World Athletics Championships. In case you were wondering, that's approximately 36 kilometers per hour, 22 miles per hour. Haaland had a dream start in his Champions League career. He managed to score 20 goals in only 14 games, becoming the fastest and youngest to achieve the feat. While this record may be surpassed by others in the future years, there's one record that he might hold forever. During a game against Belgian outfit Genk, he came off the bench and scored a goal for Salzburg. Nothing groundbreaking, right? Well, that was in fact the 5th straight Champions League game in which he scored. This made him the first teenager, and the youngest ever to do such a thing in Europe's elite competition. Del Piero, Neymar, Cristiano Ronaldo, and Robert Lewandowski are the only other players to achieve the feat. 5 goals in 57 minutes. Haaland became just the 3rd player in history after Lionel Messi and Luis Adriano to score 5 goals in a single UEFA Champions League game as Manchester City beat RB Leipzig 7-0 to make it through to the quarter-finals of the latest edition. What's even more astonishing is the fact that it took Haaland only 57 minutes to score 5. Messi had his 5 goals in 84 minutes while Adriano completed the 5-goal haul in 82 minutes. In the same game as above, Haaland also reached the 30-goal mark in mere 25 Champions League games, making him the fastest and youngest player to achieve that milestone in the history of the competition. Ruud van Nistelrooy previously held the former record, while Lionel Messi previously held the latter. To prove his love for scoring goals, and for football in general, Haaland claimed that he went to bed with 5 match balls when he was still playing for Red Salzburg. He likes to hold them, caress them, and actually sleep with them. He confirmed this quirky fact in a recent interview with Premier League Productions. It's true. Manchester City's star striker continues. I love when I score a hat-trick to feel the ball a bit more. It's a weird obsession to have, even if you're the best striker on the planet, and the way he's netting hat-trick after hat-trick, he's going to require a king-size bed before too long.
And that's it. If any of these facts shocked you, don't forget to write it in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching. See you soon. Goodbye.